I think on the one hand, there are some people who genuinely just don't have enough evidence. Maybe you've met some of these people. They'll say like, look, this is what I saw. That Christian leader, he did that terrible thing to those women. And that just doesn't make sense to me. I can't be cool with that. But if you could show me that that's not what the Bible teaches, that the Bible's not okay with that, maybe I'd be cool with it. Or someone might say, you know what, I've read a lot of scientific things, watched some scientists talk about evolution, and it seems pretty compelling to me, but I'm open to another argument about how the world came into existence. Like those people, they need reasons. They need evidence. But I think that's the vast minority of people. I think the majority of people fit into a second category that I'm going to call causes. The cause idea is that it's not about the evidence for you. It's about something that's personal. I want to break those causes into three sort of categories, three causes that people have that they'll refuse to look at evidence. The first of those is that they had some sort of traumatic experience. So this is like, my mom was in a church and she, was hurt by the priest or whatever, and therefore, she was really sad about this, and therefore I think all Christians are terrible. Or, I had a Christian friend who betrayed me, therefore all Christians are terrible. Or I see these things that are happening, with priests abusing little children and and I'm like, that's, I can't get on board with that. A second category of reasons that people will not accept evidence is that they don't want to give up the way that they're living. So they intrinsically have this idea that a Christian lives differently than the rest of the world. And so they don't want to give up spending their money the way that they spend it, or spending their time the way that they spend it, or using their body the way that they use it. And so they say, you know what, I'm not even going to interact with the evidence because I know that as soon as I interact with it, I might have to believe it. A third category, and I think this is the most interesting of them, is that people don't know what Christianity actually offers. I think this is increasingly becoming a problem. If you were asked the average non-Christian, what does Christianity offer? They would probably say something like, a better way to live so that you can be a better person. But that's not Christianity. Like, Christianity is God steps into your place, takes all the punishment that you deserve, takes your death, so that when you die, you don't actually stop existing. You continue to live in a place that's absolutely perfect. And by the way, it's not like any of the Hallmark cards you've seen. It's not clouds and harps and loincloths and singing in church services forever. It's a world, a new heavens and a new earth, a place where society exists and culture exists and music and great food and friendships and good work and art and all the things you love about this world, but perfected and given to you forever, where everyone loves everyone perfectly. There's no conflict, there's no disappointment, there's no frustration, there's no back pain. All of it is gone. That's what Christianity offers, and I don't think people know that. What if they did? See, the problem is they have these causes in their mind, and they say, you know what, I'm not into a religion that gives me that. I'm not into a religion where people act like that. I don't really want to be in a religion where I have to change the way that I live. If I can read your minds a little bit right now, I bet you're thinking about somebody right now who thinks this way. Somebody in your life who won't take the evidence because there's something else going on deeper inside. So what are we going to do about it? Well, I think each of these three causes has a different way to approach that person. The first one, a traumatic experience. I was just listening to a guy who researches persecution of religious and political groups. So basically, he researches who people dislike in the world. His research revealed that Christians are the most disliked demographic in North America. More than any other religious demographic, more than any other political demographic, more than any other ethnic demographic, more than any other age demographic, socioeconomic demographic, Christians are the most disliked. But what he also found is that the way that those Christians are disliked is almost always irrational. What he meant was that what people will cite as their reasons for disliking Christians is not actually in line with what the Bible teaches. So they'll say, you know what, I'm gay, and therefore I think Christians will hate me. Well, maybe some Christians do, but the Bible doesn't. True Christianity doesn't. Or people might say, you know what, I've got this kind of lifestyle, I look this way. If I would walk into a church, everyone would look at me side-eyed. Maybe some would, but that's not what the Bible teaches. And so if a person has a traumatic experience where like a Christian or a church really wronged them, what do they need? They need you to show them that not all Christians are like that. They need you to be in their life enough so that when they start thinking about Christians, they say, yeah, I don't really like Christians, but I like that Christian. They must not all be bad. They need to see that Christians aren't all the same, that there are some who actually do take God's word seriously. What about the second of these? They don't want to give up the way that they're living. These people need you to be in their life and show them that a distinctly Christian life is attractive. So they need to be shown that like loving your spouse and not talking about them negatively behind their back, that thinking first about what other people want rather than what you want, spending your money in a way that's generous to other people, that's actually a joyful way to live. Now that can't be accomplished, of course, if you're not living a distinctly Christian life, but that's what those people need. They need to see that if I were to leave the way that I'm living, I would actually go to something that's pretty attractive. What about this last category? They don't actually know what Christianity offers. I think here's your approach. You say to them, you know what, I realize you don't think any of this is true, but can I just, for a second, let you know what Christianity really offers? And then you tell them all those things that I said. And at the end of it, then you say this, you say, I know you don't believe that that's true, but don't you want it to be true? Don't you wish it was true? And unless they're a crazy person, they're going to say, yeah, I wish it was true. I don't think it's true, but I wish it was. And that's your chance to say, can I show you that I think there's a reasonable argument for it actually being true? And you have that chance to share those reasons